There we go. Whee! All right, YouTube, what is up? We are back with another day, and today is probably gonna be the shortest YouTube video we ever make. And the shortest workout I've probably ever done. Today is just gonna be a little shakeout. We got max outs tomorrow. And truth be told, I fell asleep at 2 a.m. last night and woke up at 5 for the gym. So we are down horrendous on sleep right now. Actually not feeling terrible. Body-wise, I think I'm running off a little bit of adrenaline, honestly. We finished up softball, like we have Domeball started up this week. We didn't get out of Domeball until like 11, and I leave Domeball, I'm just all fucking wired up. I was just tossing and turning in bed like an idiot last night. Not even like anxious or anything like that, just literally just tossing and turning in bed, not able to fall asleep. I had like 50 pages left in my book. This book has been driving me insane just because it's been a slow read. It's like the history of Freud and all of his psychologists, like counterparts and branches off of the Freudian method. It's an interesting read, but it's much more of a history book than I would have liked. I got it for 99 cents at a Savers. I just saw it was a book about Freud. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. For 99 cents, I'll grab it. And I just kind of like reading some of those books. Sometimes those books are really, really good. Sometimes those books are honestly god-awful. I always force myself to finish a book once I start a book. I'm like, there's got to be something in this book. And some books, there's actually, I'm here to tell you, some books there is nothing in. That's not one of those books. This book, there is a lot of good stuff in. I'd say it's like a 6 or 7 out of 10 of a book, but it's definitely not a 10 out of 10. So it's taken me a little bit to read, but could not fall asleep last night. So I'm like, fuck it, I'll just read. So I'd read like 10 pages and be like, okay, I feel a little tired. I would try to go to bed and I would just toss and turn. I'm like, fuck, I'll go read 10 more pages. And we finished 50 pages of the book and finished the book last night. So that was a win of last night, is we finished a book that has been taking us a while to finish. The L of last night is we could not fall asleep and then had to wake up for game day today, but we had an electric game day. Then Dylan came here, we BP'd with Dylan after. We had some really good BPs. Again, the body was feeling good. But again, we are running a little low. I do not want to push the 40s today and fuck myself up, especially since I don't think a massive PR is coming. So we're just gonna run 5 or 6 10-yard builds into a 10-yard fly at a crescendoing tempo. So the first one will be nice and easy, like 80%, 90%, maybe 95, and then we'll go 100, 100, 100, or we feel good, and we'll probably just send 100 right away. But we'll run the first one at 80, and then probably see where we're feeling after that. But crescendoing 10-yard builds into a 10-yard fly, then we got like 2 things in the weight room, and then we are done today, and hopefully building up for tomorrow and saving ourselves and feeling good for tomorrow. We have hit tracks tonight, so I guess we can't really say we're saving ourselves for tomorrow, since we're probably gonna take like 100 cuts after taking 2 hours of BP this morning. But lifting wise, the whole goal of today is to move the body fast, lift some light weights, leave here sweating, feeling good, make a video so we can stay on track with our 1 YouTube video a day and just stay consistent with showing up to the workout. Something I've built into my schedule. It's something that I feel really, really good about. And when I show up every day, I just feel better the next day. So that's the reason for the shakeout. And honestly, this is probably my first shakeout since maybe, I think we ran them during our track meets in college. We did just little primers before. But today's Thursday anyways, which isn't a super hard day in the weight room. So all we're really cutting is the acceleration that we normally do today and sending 40-yard dashes. Last week when I was running the 40-yard dashes, I came off a bad night of sleep too, and those were just shits. And again, I just don't want to run myself into a wall, forcing the 40s on something that's not gonna feel great anyway. So we'll just save that for next week, save ourselves for tomorrow for the lifts. And hopefully tomorrow we wake up feeling great and we crush some balls tonight at hit track. So that's the plan. Let's go get these 10-yard flies. Then we'll get in the weight room. We'll be in, we'll be out. The intro will probably be the longest part of this video. Let's get it. So we're doing these 10-yard builds into a 10-yard fly. Again, gonna start out for like 80%, run one at 90%, run one maybe 90% again, and then we'll run a couple opens just to get the body moving, get some juices flowing, get a little warm up for hit tracks tonight anyways, and saving ourselves on those 40s. Sometimes when I sprint the 40s, my hamstrings are unbelievably sore. And I also when I ran the 20s on Tuesday, when I was setting all those like big PRs, holy crap, like I could tell I had ran faster than I had ran before in a long time because my hamstrings were absolutely brutally sore, but in like the best way. You know, like the sprinting hammy soreness? I love that feel. That's when I know I'm kind of running fast. It's not like a sore like you hurt it or you like overextended it anyway like that. It's just like, oh, you cooked something in there, and it felt really, really nice. So we had that feel on Tuesday or on Wednesday after the Tuesday sprints, and trying to actually kind of avoid that going into tomorrow so that we feel good on the pole and feel really good. I'm trying to set a good snatch or a clean PR. Supposed to set a snatch PR, but I'm going from the ground on the snatches tomorrow instead of on the hang. I'm gonna suck it up and see how much we can pull from the ground and actually get a good snatch from the ground, but the snatch from the ground hasn't been amazing recently, so I think the PR is gonna come from the clean. Last time, we set the 25-pound PR in the snatch. This time, I'm gonna take the snatches from the ground, just hit what we can hit that day, and then really push the cleans and save some mental energy from there, because it's been a while since we PR'd in the cleans, and I think my PR in the cleans is significantly down from where it should be percentage-wise. But anyways, stop yapping, shut the fuck up. Let's run these 10-yard builds. We're running the first one at like 80%, nice and relaxed here, and then we'll build up from there. Let's get it. Oh, okay, that was about 40%. Gotta wake up a little bit. 1, 3, 4, 9. Okay, I'm gonna do the actual math here. Base that off of my PR. Okay, that was actually 80% of my max, so I did that right. Yeah, I'm actually gonna do the math here on this. That was 81% of my max, so I'm a beast at knowing my body, obviously. All right, so this 90 should be at a 1, 2, 2. 80, that was 81% there. This 90 will be at a 1, 2, 2. I'm actually gonna try and see how close I can get to that 1, 2, 2 just based off feel here. It'll be kind of a fun little challenge when we're not feeling our fastest. See how well we're feeling the body, how well we can respond to the body. Let's go. Ooh. Oh, pretty good. 1, 2, 0, 9. That was pretty close. Let's see. I'm not a mathematician, so I'm gonna do the math here on how close that was. That was 91%. Okay, I ran 81%, then I ran 91%. Let's see if we run 95%. So that's all right. Got to run a 1-1-6 here. 1-1-6 for 95. I kind of like this little game. A little fun way to make me not want to shoot myself when I'm not feeling my fastest. But I mean, I tried to run 90% of my 1 rep max and got 90% on the first try. So got 91% feeling at 90%. So maybe the body can give me a little bit more than I think today. But we're not going to push it too hard. We'll run a couple at full speed at what we got today. But that's where when the sleep and the recovery isn't there, that's where I really feel it, is at that top end, right? It's not necessarily, that's why I think you can lift on not great recovery pretty well, right? Like you can grind through those weights, but it's that last little twitch that I feel like you're missing when you start to fall apart and fall behind on your recovery pieces. Again, I talk about like sleep and recovery not like mattering all that much. And it's not to say it doesn't matter for your performance. It's just more so the mindset around those. It's like people just give themselves so many fucking excuses not to train, not to do anything. And it's like, there's a difference. Like there's a difference in extremes where you're sleeping 3 hours or you're sleeping 2 hours and your whoop score is like legitimately 0 versus your whoop score being 70% and you saying you're not recovered enough to go train that day, or your whoop score saying 60% and you only slept 6 hours instead of 8 hours. Like that's where I think the bullshit around the recovery stuff really comes into play. It's just like the minute details with it. Obviously there's extremes with recovery. If you have really, really good sleep, really, really good recovery and you're thriving, you're probably gonna have a really good day of training that day. And if you have a really, really bad day of sleep, that's probably where you do wanna adjust your training on the opposite ends of the extreme. I just think people get lost in that middle ground with the recovery stuff, and they just get so anal about, I got 6.5 hours of sleep instead of my 8, or my REM cycles weren't that great. It's like, dude, that shit doesn't fucking matter. If you worry about that stuff in the long term, that is a game you're gonna absolutely lose, and a game that you're gonna try to outsmart, rather than just showing up and giving what your body has to give that day. Again, on days when you're at the lower extremities of your recovery and how your body's functioning, that is a day where you should cut off and your recovery does matter. On days when you're on the high end of recoveries, that's probably a day you should push it and like get after it a little bit. But everything in between, man, you just gotta show up, and that's more mindset thing. No amount of science is gonna solve that for you. That's where I think a lot of the snake oil shit from that comes. Take a shot of this. Now we're on 95%, let's go. That felt pretty good. Oh, I was at 94% there. Oh, come on. I don't know if that's gonna focus. 94% there. That was a 1-1-7-4. That was the first one I undershot. We're gonna run one more at 95% here. Just see if we can get that on the nuts. I kind of like the gamification piece of this, like I was mentioning before. I'm yapping about that, but I like that piece of it. And then we're gonna run two or three, just opening up, see if we got more. That one actually felt pretty good. Felt pretty casual. Let's go rip. Oh! I think I started that one off too hot and ended too slow. It wasn't 95 throughout the entire thing, but a 1-1-7-6. I was fuck. I was at the same time. All right, getting closer to 95%. It's kind of harder to pinpoint. I was feeling myself with how accurate I had been with my body. I think I had finished that one through. That would have been a good 95%. I think I just didn't. I crescendoed the wrong way. Blew my load at the beginning and then tried to save it at the end. It doesn't happen that way. Let's run two opens. If we're feeling it after 2 opens, we're on a third. Let's see what the body got in the tank here. Let's go. 1103 is the record to beat. Well, tried to go 100 there, and we ran slower. We're on a 1192, so that's not ideal. We're gonna run 2 more. I mean, unless this next one is also a 1192. I felt like I was cruising there. That hurts the ego a little bit. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. That was not ideal. Kind of felt like that was kind of fast. Maybe the 3-point stance was not the move, but we'll reset mentally. We're gonna run. I mean, we gotta get at least one faster than our 94%. That was not ideal. Fuck, I suck. I deserve to suck today, but I don't want to suck, you know? Like, that's not the goal. Let's go get these next 2, come on. Jesus, I'm ass. 1184. What? Dude, my 95 was a 1174. I ran 2 at a significantly harder push. At a 118 and a 119. Maybe the reason I was so good at hitting lower percentages was not because I had good body control, but because that was actually my peak. But like that 1174, I legitimately slowed down on the finish to get through. I don't know. Maybe we'll try out a 2-point stance here. 1 more. That's tough. That hurts the ego. We're sad now. Not really. We kind of expected this to happen. That's why we didn't run 40s today. If we ran 40s today, I would have saw a 5 on the scoreboard, and that would have hurt the ego. A little too much for me to handle right now. Nobody really knows what a 10-yard build and a 10-yard fly is supposed to be, so it doesn't hurt the ego as much. Everybody knows what a 40 is supposed to be. Running a 5-second 40, not ideal. So let's get this last one. Holy crap, that sucks. All right, so, I mean, that was the fastest of the day. 1144. Maybe the 3-point stance was jacking me up. That's still pretty icky, but what we expected off 3 hours of sleep today. Again, today's a washout day. Today's a shakeout day. Just moving. We're running on 3 hours of sleep. Let's go with these snatches and jerks and get out of here. All right, now we got light snatches here. 3 sets of 2, high hang, no foot. Moving this bar quick, and then we got some power, behind the neck power snatch. I think it's behind the neck power jerks. Then we got 3 sets of 2, and then we're outie. Feeling good, feeling fast, saving the ego from those sprints. Let's get after it. All right, second set here. Bar's moving pretty good. Let's keep it moving pretty good. Prep for tomorrow, just to save the ego for today. Let's go. There we go. All right, last set here. Then we're gonna get some jerks. Then we get out of here. Let's get it. Now we got 3 sets of 2 behind the net. Jerks here. Ripping these nice and fast. Let's go. Let's go. All right, second set here. Let's keep the bar moving quick. Let's go. Third and final set. Then we are gonna go to hit tracks and rip some nukes. Let's get it. All right, battery died there, and we are on our last 1% here, so this one might exhaust as well, but I wanted to say goodbye, and the shakeout is gonna be worth it for tomorrow, promise you. Buy low, we'll be back tomorrow, ripping some heavy ass weight. Keep chopping wood.